Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 64th episode of Slime Time, a Dragon's Den podcast about Dragon Quest. This is Liamland.
And yar, this here be Pendy, slimy sailor of the Slurpy Seas.
Pendy, this is not the time for pirate shenanigans. We have an important guest here today from Square Enix. We need to act professional.
You need to be free of all social constraints, imbibe some gooey rum, and let the currents and the slime take ye.
Pendy, we're embarrassing us. Don't make me make you walk the plank. All right, come on. See, now you got me talking pirate speak.
And a bottle of Captain Crow's rum. This be a real king slime of a treasure indeed.
All right, before I get scurvy from all this pirate speak, I'll introduce our special guest today. Joining us from Square Enix, we'd like to welcome Flannery Dunn to the party.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to talk to you guys.
Thank you for being here. Crazy excited about the launch of Treasures, and we're just honored that you've come to talk to us about it today.
I'm crazy excited to talk about Treasures. Excited to answer any of you guys' questions. It's a great game, and I'm excited for it.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. But first, let's get to know our guests. So how long have you worked at Square Enix?
I've worked at Square Enix for a little over 3 years now. I started in September 2019, so I got a few months in before the pandemic hit. But yeah, and since 2019, it's been a dream come true. I've been a Square Enix fan my entire life.
That's awesome. Do you have a particular Dragon Quest game that's your favorite?
So I know it's a little cliche, but Dragon Quest XI, the amount of hours I've poured into that game is actually ridiculous. I love the characters. Sylvando is one of my favorite characters in any gaming series ever. But beyond
Oh, he's
DQ11, oh, I know, right, darling. But a lot beyond that, like I played a lot of 8 with my youngest brother, so that has a special place in my heart. And obviously Dragon Quest V, because any game with some dating mechanics is, always up there for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, those are great games. 8 and 11 are really well designed as well. And like you
Exactly.
said, the voice acting is fantastic.
Yes. Oh,
Um,
completely agree.
so do you have a favorite monster in the series?
I do. The slime stacks, mostly because I like the lore behind them. I like the fact that they each have their own kind of mind and personality, just kind of constantly bicker, that they're kind of just like a failed king slime, and that's how they just kind of happened. They're kind of like these little useless guys, so I kind of really like them for that. It's got to show some love for the stacks.
That's awesome.
You know what?
I never thought about him as a failed King Slime before.
No, I didn't even know that about them. I learned something new today. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, if you look them up, yeah, apparently like they're attempting to become a king slime, they failed, so that's how they formed and became.
Probably not enough slimes for a King Slime.
Probably not. I think you need 8.
I love that it's how they came to be. That's great. So, what do you like most about marketing for Dragon Quest?
So it's got to be the history. I mean, not only do you get to work on one of the most influential, probably one of the most prolific IPs in gaming history, but I mean, like, what could really be cooler than that? Like, I work on an amazing IP and I get to work with some of the most brilliant minds in the gaming industry. So it's just, it's such an amazing IP to work on. Therefore, like, my whole goal is just to do it justice. I really love the heart and soul that this team puts into the series, and it's it's honestly been just a joy to work on it. Dragon Quest Treasures is my first DQ game I worked on. So I'm kind of new to the whole franchise and I'm super excited to be working on it.
Wow, yeah, it
Nice.
is an exciting game to start.
Mhm.
So if you could cosplay as any character in the series, who would it be and why?
Probably either Jade or Nira from Dragon Quest V, since she was my choice for bride. But yeah, probably Nira.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
funny.
you've got a fellow fan with you here.
Nira,
Yes.
yeah, Nira is my bride choice as well. I feel like I am in the minority in that case. So many people pick Bianca, and quite a few people pick Deborah as well.
I mean, you really
Yeah,
can't lose with either of them.
Mm.
yeah. When Deborah came around, I became a Deborah fan. The stuff that she has is just hilarious. I just love the comedy that ensues with picking her.
I know. And Bianca's very plucky and nice. I mean, she's the
Mm,
canon one, but you can't
Yeah.
really go wrong with any of the 3 choices. But yeah, Nira was mine, my choice.
agreed. Agreed. So you're traveling in the Dragon Quest game, and suddenly you come across a casino. Do you make a mental note to return to the casino later, or can saving the world from the demon lord wait while you try your luck at the card tables, or maybe even the slot machines?
I've already kind of side quested my way around, so I think the Demon Lord can wait while I try out my card table luck. So
Awesome.
I'm going to the casino. I mean, I got to find the bunny outfit.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so let's talk Dragon Quest treasures. Would you mind starting off with a brief synopsis of what we can expect from Dragon Quest treasures?
Yeah, so I mean, just like the title states, this is a treasure hunting RPG. So you can expect to be whisked away with Eric and Mia to the very cool world of Draconia. You're going to befriend a bunch of monsters. You're going to explore each of the unique floating islands. You're going to battle against rival treasure hunters, and on top of that, you're hunting for lots of loot. So, like all Dragon Quest games, you have a fun cast of characters. I mean, you have Eric, who is one of the best characters of all time from Dragon Quest 11. So there's a lot to
Mm.
look forward to in this game.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And of what you were talking about, like, what are some of the more exciting game mechanics that treasures will bring to the table?
So I know this is going to sound cheesy, but the treasure hunting element is super fun. So I'm going to just dive right into it. Basically, when your party alerts you to treasure being nearby, the character you're controlling activates their fortune finder, which points you in the direction that you need to head in. When you're close enough, you'll activate your party's treasure visions, which basically give you a snapshot of like X marks the spot. It shows you a location nearby and where that treasure is. You kind of have to figure out where the treasure is based on the images that you're seeing. So you basically have a little mini puzzle to solve every time you're hunting for loot. So
Hmm.
each treasure vision is different. If you have a slime in your party, their treasure vision is low to the ground because obviously they're tiny little guys. If you have a Draki in your party, your treasure vision will be a lot higher up, but they see better at night. So if it's daytime, it might be a little bit blurry or in black and white. So you basically form your party members, and every time you hunt for treasure, it's kind of its own little puzzle to solve. So I find it really fun.
Awesome. Do you have to choose either Eric or Mia to be the main character, or can you swap and play as both party members, kind of similar to the Dragon Quest Heroes games?
You can swap between playing Eric and me at the home base. So when you're running around, yeah, you can play as both
Oh,
characters. You
Awesome.
can't
okay.
swap on the fly, but yeah, at home base you could switch between them anytime you want.
Interesting. And I also read that Eric and Mia will run into many rival gangs full of colorful characters. What are some of your favorites that we can expect?
So hands down, my favorite character that you guys can look forward to, her name is Princess Anemone. She is the princess of Sylphania, and while she's technically not part of the gang, she's part of the Sylphanian expedition. She's basically the princess of that nation, so therefore she kind of leads the whole expedition. I'm a sucker for scholarly characters, so I really, really like the way she fits into the story. Also, in the very beginning of the game, you meet a character named Uzabella. She's a cutie slime with a little bow. Absolutely love her name. I mean, the puns in Dragon Quest are always the best part of it. So she's the first monster you befriend, and she's always been a constant in my party.
Nice. I've seen pictures of her. She looks I like the monster design on that one. Yeah.
She's super cute. I mean, she's a cutie slime. She lives up to her name.
Awesome. Well, how would you describe the battle system in comparison to other Dragon Quest games?
So the battle system is not turn-based. You basically have Eric and Mia with their dragon daggers and a catapult. So you can swap between fighting up close and personal using the dragon daggers, or kind of taking a step back and using your catapult to either attack enemies with pellets or actually use it to heal the monsters in your party. The monsters have their own AI, so they'll fight alongside you. You basically either can tell them to group up and fight close to you, or go and attack. In addition to that, you can also chain attack with your party members to perform what's called a monster medley. It
Hmm.
dishes out a ton of damage, and it's really fun when you start hitting monsters with or enemy monsters with those really big numbers.
Oh, that's great.
So,
So, oh, go ahead.
oh no, some it's a little bit different from some Dragon Quest titles, but it's really fun.
Mhm.
Nice. So this game, since this game involves treasure collecting, can you reveal some of the exciting items we'll be able to collect? Perhaps some Dragon Quest legacy items might be involved.
I can say that there will be legacy items. For
Hmm.
example, the bunny suit was revealed in one of our trailers. However, I don't want to reveal too much, but I will confirm that there are some cool legacy pieces to look forward to. I know that's not
Okay.
the best answer, but I can say that
No,
there's
that
some
is the
exciting stuff.
spoiler. That's the spoiler-free answer, which
Yeah.
is quite all right. So I noticed that Eric was collecting a lot of herbs and items in the field in some of the game footage that we've seen. Does that mean there's alchemy in the game?
There is not alchemy in the game. So the herbs and items in the field serve a few purposes. Um, at your home base, you have a cafeteria with Madame Leblancmange. I can never pronounce her name right. I apologize to how much I just butchered that. She runs the cafeteria, so you can use items you find in the field to create um, dishes and cuisines. In addition to that, the monster recruiting mechanic, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. Sometimes the requirements to recruit monsters are some of the items you find on the field. So in order to recruit them onto your gang, you've got to, you know, give them a few cool items and stuff like that. So yeah, you collect a lot of really cool things on the field, and yeah,
Well, that sounds great. You're basically kind of bribing them to come with you. Very
exactly. I mean, it's
similar.
the coolest gang there is. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it reminds me of like the monsters thing where you have the Dragon Quest monsters where you're trying to entice them with monster meat.
I mean, what's not to like? I mean, the cafeteria looks like it has some pretty cool food, so it would tempt me well as well.
And since we were talking about recruiting monsters, how do we recruit monsters to our party? And can you give us a sneak peek and describe some of the new monsters that will be introduced?
So recruiting monsters. So as you're fighting monsters out on the field, you can. Some of them will be really impressed by you, and they will want to join your gang. In addition to that, if there's a certain monster that you really want, you can use buddy bullets, which you hit using your catapult, and it'll increase the likelihood of that monster wanting to join your gang after the fight.
Hmm.
So let's say you're out in the field, you fight a cool king slime, and you really impress the king slime, and now that king slime wants to join your gang. Back at your home base, there's an NPC called Miss Cecily, and she runs the HR personnel department. Um, you, the personnel department is, I think, the official name.
Nice.
You basically can go back to the personnel department. That slime will pop up on like your recruitment list, and if you have the items needed to recruit the slime into your party, you can invite them to your gang. There's also a nice mechanic where you can save. If there's multiple monsters on your board and you don't want any to be bumped off, you can save the ones that you want to recruit at a later date should you not have the items.
Nice. I like that.
Well, that's interesting. So just a real quick, you mentioned the catapult. Is it possible if you're kind of trying to fire off those recruiting bullets that you might miss, or how does that work?
I think there are a chance of you missing, but I believe the game is pretty forgiving in the sense that it will lock on to the enemies. The lock on,
Okay.
it has a lock on mechanic.
Mm.
Okay, cool. I don't remember seeing gameplay footage of that, so I look forward to kind of exploring that more because I like that. I like being able to attack or recruit from a distance like that,
Yeah,
even before battle begins.
the
Um,
catapults are nice. There's in your home base, there's a section called the works, and you can work with Axel, who is he basically will forge a bunch of pellets for you. So you have elemental pellets, you have healing pellets and support pellets, as well as just pure damage pellets like spiky pellets and stuff like that. So the catapult does offer you quite a bit of range of gameplay.
Nice.
that's interesting. So I understand the monster characters give you special powers such as slimes. You can kind of bounce off and high jump, and then the Drakis that allow you to fly for a short bit. I even saw some combos that you can do, such as slime jumping comboed by flying to reach otherwise inaccessible areas. Are there any other fun monster abilities and combos we can expect to see?
So technically, the monsters don't give you the powers; they're actually their own powers, but they're called fortes technically.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so basically, you can work with the monsters. You can work with shades and kind of sneak under like hard to reach areas. So there's some really cool powers in the game. For example, the orc has the ability to scan, and it'll make all of the collectible items that you need to recruit monsters kind of shiny, so you can kind of find them more easily. With regards to combos, I don't actually know if there are technically combos, but I know that you can use the slime. You can bounce on the slime, and then I'm pretty sure that once you bounce up at a higher area, then you can use the Draki to kind of glide around. I don't know if they're
Interesting.
technically considered combos though,
Mhm.
so I
So it's
think.
uh, it's up to the creativity of the player as well to kind of
Mhm.
search and explore.
Yeah, so I apologize. I don't think there's any combos for me to to disclose at this time. So I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, combos. I don't think they're considered combos.
Nice. It's cool how you can use your monsters to, go throughout the environment and do that. I like that.
It's
Get to those
really fun.
areas.
It makes
So
exploring really fun.
yeah, it does. It looks like a lot of fun to be able to explore with your different monsters. It kind of gets introduced a little bit into Dragon Quest 11, where you could use some writing monsters to do certain things. So I like that. It's like really
Yeah,
expanded in this game.
definitely. I like that ability to kind of find those little hidden areas by, uh, exploiting things like that.
Yeah. So, like in a lot of Dragon Quest games, will there be any post game and treasures?
I wonder, and that is all I'm gonna say.
Gotcha.
I think that's a yes. I'm going to say that's a yes.
I wonder. No comment. I have no
Yes,
idea.
quite
I
possibly,
wonder.
maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. So we'll all have to play through and find out. So will there be any multiplayer features?
So there is no multiplayer features. There are online features that I cannot talk about at this time, so please stay tuned for more information.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
great.
It'll be interesting to see what that is.
Yeah.
And can you tell us anything about the pre-order bonus that comes with this game, and if there will be any DLC?
So the pre-order bonus that comes with Dragon Quest Treasures is you get 5 Chimera Wings. The Chimera Wings in this game, I mean, similar to a lot of games, they whisk you back to home base. But the nice bonus feature of the Chimera Wings is that you don't lose any of your treasure. So anything you've collected up to that point isn't lost to the wilderness. You also get 15 better buddy bullets, which are a better version of the buddy bullet by virtue of the name, and they have a better chance of the monster that you hit it with joining your gang. And then you get 15 full heal pellets, which fully heal the monsters in your party. For
Nice.
DLC, I don't think I have any information about DLC at this time.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
So
find out in the future.
yeah. Any fun behind the scenes stories you have about the promotion?
Hold on, I'm thinking right now. I think this might not be the best answer, but um, it's been obviously with uh, COVID, we haven't done a lot of in-person promotions, so the ability to kind of sync with my team over in London and in Japan to kind of work on this together. I mean, obviously, when you're working across time zones, regardless, I mean, you're always working online, but feel that more so than ever, we've been really connected and making sure that we've been collaborating together to do the best we can for this game. So I wish I had some more fun promotional stories, but we haven't really done in-person events at this time. So I have not. I don't know if we. I don't really have any fun stories, and I apologize. That's such a lame answer, but
That's okay.
um,
Understanding the way, the pandemic world and everything, and I was a big fan of the convention scene before the pandemic hit. Um, so I'm looking forward to a future time when we can return to that normalcy, but I understand we're not there yet.
yeah. I can say that when we first received the key art, I was super blown away by how adorable it was. So um, I'm just excited to work on more projects where I get to look at more amazing artwork with this team because it's pretty phenomenal the work that they do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is there just a quick follow-up about the kind of the familiar characters that I've been seeing kind of floating around or flying around our main characters? It looks like a pig with wings and a cat with wings. Is there anything you can tell us about them?
So Porcus and Persila are
That's
the most
Ursula.
adorable.
adorable names. Yeah, Porcus, he's Mia's companion, and Persila, she is Eric's companion. They are kind of the companions for the entire journey. They have an interesting story to them that you guys will find out.
Oh, that's great. I'm looking forward to trying to get a Ursula plush import or otherwise. It'll be great. I
Me
like that.
too. That would be fun.
And we're going back to promotions a little bit. I think it came out of the London office, all the like little blogs that you guys had, the informational, uh, almost like diaries on the different aspects of treasures. I thought that was great too. I like that. Kept you really up to date on the different mechanics and different things you could expect to see from the game.
Yeah, Duncan, he writes all of our blogs at Square Enix. He is such a talented writer, and working with him has been such a joy. He really does a great job of bringing all these elements and aspects to life and putting them in such a fun, digestible format. So he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah. And do you happen to know? I saw recently there's going to be a manga associated with the game. Do you think they would possibly bring that over to the West too, or would that probably be Japan only?
So I checked, well, we checked with Shueisha regarding this. So right now there are no current plans for the manga to have an overseas release. However, if there is support and expectations from overseas readers, there is a possibility that the manga will be released on the Shueisha app, Manga Plus. And
Oh,
that's all of
okay.
the information I have at this time. So it's,
Gotcha.
as of right now, I don't believe so. There are no current
Okay.
plans.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So who do we have to annoy? I mean, follow up with?
Probably me because I know the right people, but
All right. So in the past, Nintendo's published a lot of the Switch Dragon Quest titles. Is Square Enix expanding their role by taking on this title?
So definitely when we Square Enix is the publisher, we play a much larger role in uh, the marketing of the title compared to when we are not the publisher. Historically, since this is my first Dragon Quest title, I don't have a lot of visibility onto what it was like before, but it's been really fun having a lot of um, like work with like the marketing materials. And Nintendo has been very supportive as always. They are great partners, so we've worked with them to obviously get you know trailers up and stuff like that. So Nintendo's always been a great partner as well.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to see Square Enix taking on an expanded role when it comes to publishing titles over here. That's cool. I like it. And is there anything else you would like to tell us about the exciting new release of Dragon Quest Treasures?
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite elements of this game that is the fact that it's has such a lot of like great like on the go features. So it's not every time, but basically if you can go on a run reasonably, go to one of the floating islands of Draconia, go to Cinderback Ridge, run around, find a bunch of treasure, bring it back to base and get it all appraised. And you could probably, if you really are rushing through it, get it done in 15 minutes. So if you really don't have a lot of time to play, you can really pick up this game, put it down, come back to it when you actually have more time because it's so easy to lose yourself in this game. And before you like you blink and all of a sudden like an hour and a half will go by. But the fact that you have the kind of flexibility to like pick it up, put it down when you want to is honestly something really nice as someone like me who's pretty busy. I think it just makes it a very accessible game and it's really fun. It's really cute and the team put a lot of hard work in this game and it really shines.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely game as that way as well in terms of whenever I have spare time, which is sometimes fleeting. So it's great to have that type of game where I can pick it up and put it down. Do you know if is there a quick save feature or yeah, how does that work in terms of
You can
being able
manually save. Oh, I'm so sorry. I totally
No,
interrupted you.
that's
That's
okay.
my
I was gonna
bad.
say in terms of being able to save kind of on the fly.
You could save on the fly. There, you can go into the main menu and save.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Very good.
Do you have any other questions for us or anything you would want us to know about treasures that we haven't talked about already?
Oh goodness. I guess for me, what's been the most exciting piece of like marketing material that you got? What's most exciting to you about Treasures? I'm curious to know because you guys have asked me a bunch of questions, but I'd love to know what excites you about the game.
Oh, I would say for me personally, I would say it's working together with a team of monsters in real time seems like a lot of fun. That's probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I like the special powers and abilities that they lend to you. And I think the most excited I've been, besides like hearing about the initial release from or seeing actual gameplay footage, would be just watching the footage, about half an hour of footage um, that was demoed from Japan, and just seeing all the different abilities that the monsters give to you, um, like the jumping and flying and things like that. So that's what's probably going to excite me the most, besides the actual recruitment, is what new abilities do you gain from each?
Oh, and it's super fun when you find out because there are some really, really fun abilities. And the monsters are just super cute. I mean, getting a great saber cat was like one of my favorite moments because I've always been one of my favorite monsters. Not my favorite monster. I still like the stacks, like I said, but can't go wrong with riding a saber cat.
Yeah,
No, no, you can't.
Interesting. So then I wonder what the ability of the slime stack might be that's different from a regular slime.
I don't know if the slime stack is in. If I haven't run into it yet, so I have no comment on that one.
Okay. So there's even monsters that you haven't seen yet. I can't wait to find out more about what's recruitable.
Me too. We'll find out together, because there are definitely some very, very cool things in store.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Slime Time. We'd like to thank Flannery Dunn for joining the party.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was super fun.
Yes, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. So, we be a non-profit podcast. We won't crowdfund or half-inch your hard-earned doubloons when we can offer you quality content about the game series we know and love, plunder-free. If you do have any pirate booty that is just completely burning a hole in your wallet, pouch, bottomless bag, or treasure chest, and you would like to donate anything to a website that's been supporting Dragon Quest fans for over 20 years, stop by the Dragon's Den at www.whoodis.com/den and click on support this site. Woodis has owned and maintained the Dragon's Den Dragon Quest fan site for decades. He personally edits every YouTube version of our podcast, and he fully appreciates any donations to help keep the server from walking the plank.
The Dragon's Den website features Amazon affiliate links. If you click on the link and then make a purchase, a small fraction of the sale will go to support the den, and it doesn't cost you anything.
To advertise with us, reach out to us at slimetimepodcasting@gmail.com.
Where'd the pirate go?
Good to be back.
If you have any comments or questions for the Dragon Quest Slime Time podcast, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at DQ Slime Time.
Consider joining in tons of Dragon Quest discussions at the Dragon's Den forums, one of the few remaining forums still around. Find it from the Dragon's Den main page at www.woodis.com/forums. You can also find me and other rabid Dragon Quest fans through the Dragon Questers, Infinity Strash, and Dragon Quest Tact global Facebook groups. We promise we won't maroon you.
Or come hang out with us and tons of other hardcore Dragon Quest fans on the officially unofficial Dragon's Den Discord server.
We'd like to thank everyone that made this possible, like Woodis, for his support of the series and this podcast and keeping the Dragon's Den's lights on for decades. He be quite the Dragon Quest sea dog. Yarr!
And thanks to Amanda Lepre and the Descendants Verdrick for allowing us to use their music for our podcast. Descendants Verdrick is a video game tribute band from Austin, Texas. Check them out in their album Advent at www.descendantsverdrick.com or on Twitter at @DVerdrick, and check out Amanda Lepre streaming on Twitch.
Our thanks to Dwayne Bullock, our wonderful graphic artist / DQ fan, for making the awesome artwork cover for this podcast. Dwayne was on the original iteration of the Slime Time podcast for many of our episodes. You can check out more of his work at Dwayne Art on Instagram or his website at DwayneBullockArt.BigCartel.com.
Please like, subscribe, and write a review for the podcast. It really does help. And if you're looking for more Dragon Quest Slime Time, check out our earlier episodes on Dragon's Den, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Audible, YouTube, and more. And check out our brothers and sisters in arms over at the Slime Time Side Quest podcast, as well as Tactfully Die. Their latest episodes are available now. Thanks, Flannery. Dragon Quest Slime Time, sliming off.